Hey there, welcome back to Beyond the 529. When it comes to picking a college, there are a lot of different factors that you and your student are going to use to determine if the schools on your list are the right fit. That could include programs and different activities of study, extracurricular activities that your student might be interested in, and obviously what that college is going to ultimately cost you and your family. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 3 key questions that you and your student need to keep in mind and answer before you can determine whether or not you can realistically afford the colleges on your list. I'm Mike Bink, founder and president of Equivest Financial Advisors. Equivest Financial Advisors is a full-service fiduciary wealth management firm. We help you develop comprehensive strategies to achieve all of your financial goals. We specialize in late-stage college planning and can help you identify strategies that will lower your cost of college by thousands of dollars. From increasing your financial aid and scholarships to identifying those schools that are going to give your student the most money, we can help you develop a plan that's going to lower your cost of college and help you protect your family's retirement. To learn more about how you can become our client and get your plan started today, please click on the button in the description below. Figuring out the cost is not a simple matter, unfortunately, of just looking up tuition, room and board, and things like that from the college's website. Schools would like you to think that that's all it takes, but unfortunately, that information is just not very valuable. Ultimately, what we need to try to find is the net cost, and that's the overall cost that your family is going to be responsible for after financial aid is applied. So the first question that we need to ask ourselves is, what type of aid do the schools that are on my student's list provide? Aid can come in 2 primary forms. It can come in the form of merit aid, like scholarships for good grades, or need-based aid because your family's expected family contribution is lower than the cost of attendances of those particular schools. Many people are surprised to find out that all schools don't offer both types of aid, but really it's a school-by-school decision on how they want to apply the particular aid that they offer. For example, most elite universities provide very few, if any, merit scholarships because all of the students that apply to go there would essentially be eligible for them. On the flip side of that, families that are eligible for need-based aid often assume that the college is going to be able to meet the entire need for a family, but that's not true either. So this first step is really to understand what types of aid a college is going to be able to provide over and above just what it says on their website. Once you understand how the schools on your student's list are going to provide the financial aid to your student, then you can start looking at question number 2, which is how to position your student to get as much of that financial aid as possible. This is where the real magic happens when it comes to lowering your cost, is making sure that your student is positioned as well as they possibly can be. For example, if your student is a need-based student based on your family's EFC, then putting them in a position to apply to schools where those schools are going to meet a very high percentage of financial aid is going to directly result in your overall costs coming down. Some schools might meet 100% of need, whereas others might only meet 50%. And that's really where having that understanding ahead of time can be hugely beneficial to lowering your overall costs. A couple things to keep in mind is that any unmet need is going to be an additional out-of-pocket expense for the family. A lot of times schools will offer need-based aid in the form of either student loans or work study, which is not the same thing as a merit scholarship or a scholarship obviously that you don't have to pay back. So it's important when it comes time to review the awards that you get back from your schools to really understand and identify apples to apples which schools are providing you with the best packages possible. If your student doesn't qualify for need-based aid, then it doesn't really benefit you to focus on those schools that are going to meet a high percentage of need. Instead, you want to focus your student on those schools where they've got the best opportunity to get that merit-based aid. Overall, understanding your student's position when it comes to need versus merit and matching that up with the schools that are on their list is going to give you the best education at the best price possible. If you'd like to learn more about all of the different types of free money for college that are out there that can help you lower your costs overall, please make sure to check out my other video titled Free Money for College. The last question that we want to talk about today is will our family's out-of-pocket cost be at each school? This is where the rubber really meets the road when it comes time to determining which school is going to be a financial fit and which ones are not. You go to a school's website, they're going to have cost information on there for tuition and room and board, maybe a couple of other things like books and miscellaneous expenses. But ultimately, again, that's what we call the retail cost. That's not what you're going to end up paying because that's all pre-financial aid. What we really want to understand as a family is what is our out-of-pocket cost going to be at each school? So that's net cost after financial aid is applied. This is one of the main areas that we help families that are getting ready to go through the process of applying to schools. So once you have that net cost in hand, only then can you really do that analysis and save yourself that time and that effort and that stress and make the best decision for your family overall. A good education is not a great fit if when your student comes out of school, they're immediately going to be burdened with excess student loans that they can't possibly meet, or you've got to rob your retirement in order to put your student through that cost of education to begin with. Being able to answer these 3 questions for all of the schools on your students list is a critical step in the process to make sure that you position your students correctly to lower your overall costs as much as possible. So if you'd like help developing a plan to do just that, please make sure to click the link in the description below, and we can help you develop a plan to ultimately understand exactly what your net costs are going to be and what your plan is going to be to pay for those schools for all 4 years before you ever sign on the dotted line and commit to one school versus another. Please make sure to like this video by clicking below and subscribing to my channel for more videos, and make sure to click the notification bell so that you get notified every time a new video is published. Thank you and good luck going beyond the 529.